If we go below 300, I'm actually going to be really sad. So, yeah, try and show us some love if you can afford to. It helps us so much trying to keep on running these events, etc. So, but for now, let's talk StarCraft as we have to the bottom right-hand side. Our blue Zerg from Chivo Esports. This is soO, winning his first series of the day 2-0 over Patience. And the first time we're going to get to see some of our red Terran in the top left-hand side, FanTaSy. Let's see what he's going to bring in today's matches. So, we'll not see any Gumiho games until after the halfway point in the group, guys. Gumiho's games are kind of scheduled to come in towards the end, so our current schedule is actually all the FanTaSy games in a row right now. So FanTaSy versus soO, FanTaSy versus Classic, and FanTaSy versus Patience. And then we're going to do Gumiho FanTaSy, Gumiho Classic, Gumiho Patience, Gumiho soO, and Classic versus soO. That is the plan at least. So that's kind of the goal. But of course, we'll kind of just see how it goes. We'll kind of take the day as it comes. Obviously, we might switch the order of a few matches up later on if it makes a bit more sense to do so, to create a bit more hype in the group and to keep things interesting for longer and stuff like that. So that is the plans. That is the goal. As do you see this Reaper? On the way up here from FanTaSy. So again, that Reaper going to begin with Command Center, going to drop down in the natural expansion. As the Orbital about to finish up in the main base. So Orbital going to be finishing as a hatch gas and a pool here from soO are going to be starting. Overlord. Couple of queens. Very typical start here on a pretty typical map as well. Biosphere, nothing too crazy about this to start things off with. Which is really nice to see. So, yeah, some good stuff as we do just have this Reaper heading down to the bottom right-hand side of the map. Reaper dancing with these Zerglings and doing a pretty decent job of this at the moment as we have a little bit of back and forth between the units there. Zergling speed is on the way up right now, and Command Center dropping down on the natural expansion as well. Third hatchery going to come in here from soO. So getting a third hatch up and running starport into the main base as well. Yeah, everything very much so kind of just as expected up until now. Nothing really too crazy as those Lings. Going back up to the upper left-hand side. Ling speed is going to be completing in the next few moments as well. That does just give soO, 3 bases to work with. And he can kind of go from there as the Reaper pops in. Drone is just going to pop down a Spore Crawler. Again, keeps itself safe. There's actually a double ledge jump up, by the way, so it's it really is very hidden on this side. It's very hard to notice that it's a double ledge sometimes. I mean, obviously you kind of should be able to see because this is like, double low ground down from the high ground. But yeah, I'm like over here. I'm like, wait, the Reaper's not all the way gone yet. Bit more obvious when you look at it over here, and it's not as dark actually. Oh, Marauder on the way up here from FanTaSy, so he's going to go for that Hellbat Marauder kind of attack here, and we saw this with Innovation yesterday. He actually used this to just straight up win games. He just kind of like wandered in and like won a game like boom, no problem, thank you very much. So yeah, kind of intrigued to see what happens as we continue on right now. Viking is going to pick away at this Overlord. He's going to be able to pick up that kill. These Hellions and a Reaper coming back up to the top side here. And as that armory comes in, again, like I said, Innovation yesterday kind of just wandered into his impact space and just kind of killed him with this attack. soO is like obviously trying to scout, but has he been able to pick up enough info? Not really. He's pretty blind at the moment now. He has got a roach drone, but he just started up 7 more drones. That's very scary. Because he's actually going to be supply blocked from making too many roaches. He's got 4 on the way, but obviously the Marauders make, the roach life a very difficult life in this scenario. So he's kind of realizing what's going on, but might just be in a little bit too much trouble. The Lings are going to jump on the Marauders initially, which is obviously nice rather than the Hellbats, but Just don't know if it's going to be enough. And again, as the roaches pop out, it's just going to be with the Marauders here. The Marauders just take so much more damage than they usually would against the Hellbats, right? So this is a very tough hold for soO. Now, if he can hold this, he is in a very good position because that work count is a lot higher than maybe it should be. Drones are currently running haphazardly around, trying to escape the wrath of Hellbats at the moment. 9 workers currently down. We're going to be seeing those Hellbats picking up another couple of Zerglings as well. And 9 drones dead so far. That seems to be it. This is going to pass by. A couple more Hellions are going to come running along. You got one more drone over here as the roaches are just desperately trying to make their way over. 6 drones, 7 as well, because there's a Liberator or so in the main base, which has kind of been very annoying. Very, very frustrating there. Yeah, just very frustrating indeed. So it's turned into a bit of a nuisance. And you have the couple of queens trying to chase that away, and now a roach counterattack from soO. So let's see what this can get done in the next few moments. Alright, so these roaches kind of coming along. They get turned away pretty quickly by the bunker and the siege tank guys. Sorry, a couple moments of silence as I'm just quickly sorting something on the admin side of things here. But we should be good to go. In just a couple of moments. So, Liberator going to siege up. And you have the Queen picking up a little bit of damage. 7, 8 workers going down. Man, this Liberator is actually insane. 9 workers killed. soO, I think, at this point, is just taking way too much damage, right? I mean, letting these Liberators really rack up kills. He's just not had an easy way to turn this around, so a little bit painful right there. A little bit painful right there. I think soO really is in trouble. Just from a game, like, the early stages wasn't really prepared for the first attack, and yeah, now here we are in kind of a really rough position. I mean, roaches weren't able to do anything on the counter. He's going to try and switch it into Lingbane Muta as well, with the Spire coming up, but I mean, he doesn't even have the gas to build a lot of Mutalisks at the moment, so he's in a bit of a weird spot in that regard as well. Scout and Lingers don't get more information than the fact there's an army here either. Third base comes down over in the pocket expansion here for the Terran player. So obviously expanded down the bottom side of the map, but we'll actually take the 4th base on the right-hand side rather than... I guess that because it kind of forced the Terran to push across the map rather than just down into this base over here. So, yeah, I guess that kind of works out a little bit. 2 medevacs coming across the map. So it is going to be FanTaSy just to keep up a little bit of the pressure here in these early stages. 2 medevacs coming down the right-hand side, and they're going to be dropping off on this hatchery, so 4th base going to be found, and soO is just not immediately in position to deal with it. He's in that weird space where he's in that kind of transition period from roaches into Lingbane. So his Lingbane isn't great and in position all over the place to deal with these drops. And at the same time, the the roaches are kind of slow and just bad at dealing with drops themselves, and there's not enough of them to just split them up everywhere either. So yeah, a bit of a tough little situation. In this little situation. Couple of medevacs coming back down the right hand side. See, Lingers and Mutas are able to push back an army on the left at least, so able to do a little bit of something here. Lingers, roaches running around all over the place, though. I mean, it is still FanTaSy. He's kind of dictating the pacing of this. FanTaSy's also on the left-hand side, cleaning up some creep spread as well. The roaches then really do just keep FanTaSy at bay for the moment, but again, it's gonna be It's going to be tough over here as we do have the just trying to come in, turned away pretty quickly. Still an army over on the left-hand side. Setting up. I mean, soO kind of has an army that can maybe fight, but he needs to get something done. The problem is these rocks out of like I didn't even really think about these rocks on this base. Like, there's like a double wall off now. So this third base is super safe from run-bys, etc. It's super safe compared to kind of the usual third base you take as a Terran. Like, if you take this base, you've got to deal with, if you have a depot wall, Bane Bust, and you've got a Ling run-by there, right? But now taking the third base here, you've got double rocks to protect it, and you've got the fourth base able to morph a planetary. Wow, that's actually, that's pretty crazy as we see Lings, Banes, Mutalisks continue to come up the right-hand side here. Another few Banelings just morphing in at the moment, so getting this ready to go. Marines and tanks back into the center of the map, and we are going to be having FanTaSy's army just moving through the center to try and apply that little bit more pressure once again. soO knows that he's in a bit of trouble when it comes to kind of taking a straight up fight, so he's going to go for the run-bys here. I mean, his planetary force is unprotected outside of the fact it's a planetary, so it probably does go down, although I don't like the Banes crashing into it. At least not too many of them, right? You just want to keep some sort of army to be able to deal with this pushes. Wow. FanTaSy just goes straight down and parks himself on the natural expansion of his opponent. And these Lings and Mews are going to run out of steam eventually, and that is the problem here, as FanTaSy needs to try and find a way to fight. +2 melee is finishing in a few moments. It will finish before the Cleaver Chamber is killed off or anything. And here we go, he comes in from the top side. Well, he tries to come in from the top side, but he actually just loses a few units, soO. It doesn't go so well for him in the end. Here we go now from the left. Run on in. Widow Mines are actually devastating. Oh my god. Those Widow Mines just killed pretty much everything before it even connected with the army. And obviously the Mutas are just not going to be able to come in on their own. And soO is very, very dead here. I mean, it's one of those games where it looked kind of over early. Obviously soO took a lot of damage. FanTaSy got into a very good position. But, if as well, we have got to the bottom left-hand side, a red Terran player who is indeed up one game. It is FanTaSy. Oh my god. We've seen, I swear down, we've seen so many proxy racks on this map. I feel bad for Zeta Orion. Proxy racks has happened multiple times on this one. It happened with Innovation yesterday as well, at least. Ay, ay, ay. Top right-hand side, our blue Zerg is soO. Okay, so FanTaSy is bringing... Ooh. So he's going to scout with an SCV as well. Man, that's a shame. Or did he just not mean to bring this one across? Well, FanTaSy is going to be scouted anyway, so soO gets the early information on this. Sees the SCVs, and the Overlord is seen as well. FanTaSy might try and hide the third racks here, just to try and hide what's going on, but already drones are being pulled. I mean, soO saw this very early, so instant response, try and slow down these racks, and he's just going to cancel 2 of them. He's going to build up this one to the left side. He starts a gas at home, so FanTaSy just going to try and build into something a bit different here. soO is like... Oh no, he's seen this barracks as well. This might just be a very fast game, honestly. I mean, if this barracks obviously doesn't build, then what does FanTaSy have to work with here? Not really anything at all. He has got the SCV there for a moment, was in the corner, but... Okay, he'll get back there, but it's still okay, it's still attackable, so... It's not going to finish building. Another SCV comes in. Barracks is 5 seconds away. Oh my god, it gets in the corner. 2, 1... Oh my god, it just finishes the barracks. FanTaSy, same please. Yeah, he he really wanted something there. He really wanted that to finish up, and just about manages to make it. Alright, so that's going to be seeing the drones popping in towards the natural expansion. This is going to turn into a weird game, right? Because at home another racks build. We see this command center on the way up, but very late. soO's obviously in a very good position from this stage. I mean, he's completely thrown FanTaSy's game plan in the gutter. So FanTaSy's plan, whatever that, with that proxy racks, is absolutely falling apart a little bit right now. As you do see this Reaper hopping up, is going to come forwards and drop a grenade down to pop a few drones around. You guys want to see the numbers? Each of these bases has numbers on it. I reckon it's... I don't know. But this one is a scary number, so you have to be careful of it. I don't know, actually. These numbers have probably some hidden meaning. I'm sure someone will figure it out. We figured it out in the past when maps have had hidden numbers and stuff on them. If I'm not mistaken. FanTaSy just going into a super fast third CC. I mean, obviously his build is completely off, so it's hard to... pretty hard to... kind of just, it's kind of hard to kind of say what he's going to do and stuff, because again, his build is so different from what it usually would be. Very interesting, as we do have the few lings through the center here from soO. Again, just a lack of units at the moment. There's a couple Marines on this high ground which are going to be protected by the supply depot raising. Two SCVs dropping down. Depots well low, and again, Reaper and Marines gathering together, going to be able to set up a little bit. Bunker dropping down on the ramp, and that lair about to complete from soO in the next couple of moments, so finishing this lair up, we'll see what he does with it. I mean, he's very close to affording a Spire. Is he going to throw down a Spire? He is. Didn't know where he wanted to put it. He kind of pulled this drone all the way over here to put it there. Then he was like, no, I'm going to put it here. And he's like, no. How about right here? So just going to be seeing again a bunch of drones on the way up as the Spire comes in pretty quickly. I don't mind the Spire in this scenario. I mean, you get the mutas up quick, and there's definitely a situation here where, FanTaSy just doesn't have, it's one of those stories where FanTaSy's playing from behind, and so if the mutas just deal that little bit of damage, it's just going to make it even more difficult to get back in the game. So that's definitely what we're kind of seeing being established at the moment. Stimpack is about halfway done here. 2 engineering bays dropping down as well, so all of this getting set to go. And Ben that's just on the way up on that natural expansion. The Queen coming into the middle of the map. There's Overseer flying around as well. And these 2 refineries are going to be coming up on the natural, so getting those rolling. Stimpack's going to complete, of course. FanTaSy will get some presence on the map. So he was down on army supply, but only because he's stacking money to deal, to get up into a lot of mutalists right away. And as he gets up into a lot of mutas, I mean, he's sitting on 70 workers, right? He's very comfortable in the game. Scan on the natural once again, just keeping track of what's going on here, but I say keeping track, trying to just find out what's going on behind FanTaSy. Doesn't quite know much of, much about nothing at the minute. He's, doesn't see the Spire, he hasn't seen the mutas yet. He's moving on to the map with a few of these Marines, soO with a lot of money in the bank again. He is getting a macro hatchery up and running. He's going to start flying through here, and we are going to be seeing a couple of SCVs going down. 5, 6, 7 workers here. All getting picked off. Nine workers, but actually a few mutas going down as well. 2 of them falling. And it takes away from that number a little bit, but you do see more already on the way up. So they're being replaced pretty quickly again. It's like, you know, you look at it and it's not like... I wouldn't say FanTaSy's in like a super terrible position in terms of supply or numbers. But look at all the control the Zerg has on the map, right? You know... there's a hatchery on this top side. There's a lot of meters around the left. It's kind of crazy as we see these Marines kind of moving around. There's just like, what do you do to kind of hurt the Zerg here? And that's kind of the problem, right? The Zerg can just do what they want. 83 drones, very safe. And we do see the meters again just continue to gather up. Lings are going to pick their way through these rocks. Marines flying through, and well, Lings are coming forward to try and fight off those Marines. We'll push them back a little bit. And yeah, just trying to keep the creep alive. And for FanTaSy, you really have to look at this as one of those games which is just going to be very much so an uphill battle. Very much so an uphill battle, as we do have, again, a couple Lings going to spread out in a couple different directions as well up here. Well, at least we're getting something out of this map after what was a bit of a proxy start. I was a little bit worried. We're getting to see Zerg covering it in creep and kind of running around the place. So, having a pretty good time with that at the moment. He's coming down to the bottom again. There's a good amount of meters up. I see FanTaSy probably trying to get up to 4 bases soon, but that's going to be another kind of striking point or striking moment for the Zerg where all of a sudden they can just be there's just an extra base for them to attack, right? It's more openings for more run bys, so on and so forth. Those Cabinet and Adrenal Glands. Again, soO's had nothing to really slow him down here. And again, I mean, FanTaSy just sort of plays the later game, right? You can't really just go rushing across the map trying to kill the Zerg when there's this much creep enabled. So, Ghost Academy comes down. And that's pretty much how you have to go about this at the moment. Go into that Ghost Academy and just try and play this out from here as we have a few Marines pressing forwards. Lings, good surround. Meters are going to come and chase those Marines back, making sure they don't really commit in. And look at all of the bases of soO. He's just got, I mean, it's actually only like 6 bases, but the 6 bases take up a lot of the map. It's actually kind of a tough map to take too many bases on, actually, because, you know, I mean, and sort of obviously in soO's situation it's very easy because he's controlling the entire map, but it's, the bases are quite spread out when it gets to a later stage here. FanTaSy trying to deal some damage with Widow Mines, anything he can do just to try and get himself into a later position in this game while being, you know, somewhat hopeful still. Oh, this was a nice couple of Widow Mine drops that actually was fairly successful. Obviously it comes up though, I mean, yeah, still, again, it's kind of not bad, but it's also not going to save the day, right? That's kind of the problem we continually seem to be facing right now, is another Widow Mine actually got off for 5 more worker kills. Well, FanTaSy's going to get maxed out. It's just going to be a really slow process pushing soO completely back here and pushing on to creep and denying those bases. We might actually get a chance to see some of these corner bases coming up. It's not that far from being a reality here, actually. I'm trying to think where the 5th base from our Terran's going to come in, though. Is he going to try and go over here and really spread out? Or does he try and, like, buffer up on this left side of the map and push up to this side? Also a possibility. So with quite a bank in play. A lot to rebuild with here, as we're going to see. Well, Banes don't even have to blow up that depot wall. They'll actually just go for as many depots as they can. FanTaSy going to get supply block. Not really a massive issue. He's not in a rush to build any extra units here. This drop though. Dropping into not a very pretty position. I mean, Spawn a Queen able to do a lot of damage. FanTaSy pokes forwards far enough to just get rid of a couple of the creep tumors. soO goes double Nidus network, which I don't think is a mistake either. I think this is absolutely a I want to just Nidus you in so many places. I've used that as a chapter line before. It doesn't work so well, just as a bit of a one for you guys. It's you get some creepy looks. Sometimes you get a little bit, you know, slapped in the face. Sometimes they just kind of look at you weird like, what? But yeah, soO really just looking to kind of find a way to be aggressive as himself, because obviously he's setting back on 4 bases. FanTaSy can kind of just sit back and just kind of chill there without kind of much ado. A little bit more creep being cleaned out here. Up that left-hand side, Lings are going to start running in with these Mutalisks. Just going to see a little bit of action on these slow zones now, obviously slowing down certain areas and certain pathways of these attacks. The nuke is on its way up, so nuke coming through, 4 more ghosts and 2 more liberators being brought into play as well. Again, it's just building up into that late game. The problem is you can only play late game off of 4 bases for so long, and then I don't know how you get up to 5 bases for the Terran in this scenario. Well, you know what? I thought it was going to be just, I mean, 2 at a time. It's a bit much for me. Which is a bit much for FanTaSy as well. He says, no way, get out of here. 18 workers go down at the same time, though. I mean, the Nidus has been nothing more than a distraction in this regard. There is a nuke lining up on the top side base. We'll see if soO realizes that. He's also just blowing up all of these mineral lines, though. Let's watch the nuke, because it's, you know, we all love a good nuke. Oh, soO. God. You know, that is just... wow. You know, you think you're about to see a big nuke go off, and at the last second, soO pulls out. All the innuendos in this series. 44 workers down. The Ultra makes it 45. Nope, actually leaves that SCV alive. He likes him. They made friends. The first, you know, he gave him a hug, and he's like, you know, you give good hugs. I won't kill you. With hug number 2. Going to be seeing the Mutalisks are continue to just move around the map, trying to see where else they can go. As we do see the advanced ballistics is about to finish up. 3 more nukes coming into play. And, yeah, we really are looking as though it's, I mean, soO's just made, you know, dealt the damage that he was looking to deal for quite some time now. So, yeah, another nuke lines up on the top side, but soO is just going to kill the ghost. A lot of, very far in advance this time around. Another Nidus in the main base gets denied. Ultras continue to press through. On the left-hand side, Lings, Ultras, and Meters going to come in and... oh, again, I mean, it's just denying these bases again and again. Yeah, you killed all my Ultras. Cool, I just rebuild them. I don't care. I've got so much money. soO is so rich. His Rhythm-wise actually blow up some ghosts there. The problem is, again, FanTaSy just can't mine anymore, right? Loses this base on the left side. He'll probably lose this base on the right side in the near future as well. He lines up a shot on this hatchery. The drones stay hidden in that extractor. What a legend. This drone's like, yeah, no bother. We're getting nuked. I'm just mining my gas. Don't mind me. It'll be okay. He like walked out as the nuke landed as well. So he's like, ooh. Yeah, sunglasses on for this one. This nuke denied as the ghost dies instantly. And well, soO, I mean, again, should just be building up for another attack on this bottom left-hand side. He knows FanTaSy isn't mining or hasn't been mining as much as he would need to be to truly keep up with this. These nukes aren't landing. Again, soO can just set up to pretty much put an end to this here. The Nidus Worms weren't that effective, mostly because they couldn't ever get up, but really... oh my god, I'm going to stop. They couldn't really ever get into the bases because there wasn't that many bases for them to go into. FanTaSy wasn't that spread out, so defending Niduses weren't actually that problematic. As we're going to be seeing the few meters now going to fly into the main again. There's an attempt once more for Niduses in the main bases. I mean, this base is actually just unprotected from Mutalisks, so this could just be even more SCVs going down. The Ultras are also here. There goes the orbital. We mentioned this base was likely to fall. And there it is, falling. Ghosts are sniping their hearts out, but there's only so much they can do. And finally, the Niduses get up in the main. GG from FanTaSy. And soO cabs us again. And proxy again. SCV is heading across the map here on Zen, our red Terran. And the top right from Pixel 1 is FanTaSy. And the bottom left, our blue Zerg from Chivo Esports. It's soO. Okay, so, well, that's interesting. The barracks is on the ramp. I repeat, the barracks is on the ramp. I feel like that's not meant to happen, but we'll roll with it. This tree is also invisible. Why is this tree invisible? Okay, guys, like, this is just Ghost Town over here. What even exists anymore? This tree is see-through. This barracks is in the middle of a solid ramp. What is happening here on Zen? Ay, ay, ay. Well, it truly is inside it, isn't it? Look at that. What if it's... Damn. It truly is inside it. What happens if the Marine goes here? Does the Marine also go inside? I guess we'll never find out. Well, I'll set up this proxy hatch gas and pull the opening here from soO, who doesn't know about this yet. He didn't go the right way to scout it, but he sees the bunker coming down now. And his response will be to pull to the high ground with the drone initially here. So, soO having to go into full-on defensive mode in the next couple of moments. A drone comes over and builds up an extractor. Zergling speed going to get started as well. So starting that link speed on the spawning pool. As we do again, just have these few Marines nibbling their way through this hatchery. So a little bit of damage being dealt. Bunker is going to be coming up. soO is just going to go into the roach roaring, which is a decent response to the 3 racks. You can definitely get away with roaches against this. You see gas is coming up at home from FanTaSy, so you will transition, but 3 racks is very committed, so transitioning doesn't come super quickly. The expansion doesn't come down super fast. If the roach roaring finishes, there's going to be a lot of roaches right away. FanTaSy needs that gas ASAP so you can get a factory up and into a starport. You'll need something along the lines of probably a Banshee to be able to defend against the roach counter-attack here. soO is actually going to kill one of the Marines with broodlings. Not bad. And as the roaches pop out, he's going to start fighting against this bunker. And again, only 4 Marines inside. That Queen pulls back in plenty of time. Couple of Lings will go down. Not many units lost here. Oh, just keep the Queen alive, though. Yeah, nicely done by soO. Just about keeping it alive there. Again, instantly does have a setup to potentially just, go across the map with the roaches. But you can also just re-expand very quickly. I mean, the Terran Blade doesn't have an expansion yet. Factory is only just now building. So bunker setting up at the moment, and Queen just pushing their backs up the left-hand side now, and single Marine nibbling away at this Overlord as well. Now we're just going to morph in. Obviously, Overlord here. Corrosive Biles are dangerous at this moment, and there's a starport on the way, but it's not ready yet. Biles going to bring the first depot super low. Oh my god, that's actually a dead depot. Ooh, FanTaSy supply block, but he did already start the Cyclone, so that's very important. And now he's super supply blocked. Is FanTaSy just dead to the Ravager counterattack? Oh my god, SCVs. How did only one SCV go down there? I actually have no idea. Just needs another few Corrosive Biles, and he will force the SCVs back. Man, FanTaSy has no supply depots currently finished. That's actually crazy. He's only just now finishing them in the back of his base. Wow, that is pretty crazy. You see these Ravagers popping up. They are going to be able to pick off this Cyclone. Actually, lost a few of these in this attempt to break up here. So, actually got pretty expensive there in the end. And these Ravagers backing away as there isn't much left, right? They killed the Cyclone, though. I mean, that's really nice. Gives them a little bit more time to just deal some damage. There's actually just no units out for a while, so... Oh my god, 3 SCVs going down there as well. FanTaSy is in quite a bit of trouble. He's trying to go into Fusion Core and a Battle Cruiser, but... Like, he actually just can't... He can't turn these Ravagers away at the moment. These Ravagers are going to get another couple SCVs before they're done. This is just actually target fire, though. There we go. Nice target fire in the end as well, actually. Corrosive Bile hits another SCV. And that's finally going to be it. But 12 workers killed. A very successful counterattack here from soO. Again, the 3 racks, he just struggled to get that factory up in time. Cyclone hitting this Overlord at the moment, picking this apart. Overlord is going to die off. As feelings into the center of the map are going to chase down this Cyclone. Cyclone is chased all the ways away to the side, and then it dodges back. And this Cyclone is going to get caught by these Zerglings. So the Lings will be able to pick up the kill. And still a few of them moving through the center now. So moving to the top right-hand side, we do have soO coming into the main base, and is going to be able to pick up a few of these SCVs. So a few SCVs already starting to drop down here. A couple of Hellions spawning out. I mean, again, it's just kind of disaster after disaster at the moment. It feels all of these SCVs in the low ground are in trouble, and Su's going into a lair as well. He saw the battlecruiser setting up a while back, right? I mean, he did see the fusion core, so he can kind of, do whatever he feels is fit. As we see the BC teleports into the main, the Queens are actually running down to the low ground. There's a couple of transfusions available. I'll tell you what, there's not too many Queens here right away. Maybe there is actually a little bit of trouble here for soO. But obviously this battlecruiser has to put in absolute overtime to be able to make this truly work out. Another couple of shots coming down. Gonna drop the mule to repair it because there's not many units left. FanTaSy, I mean, he's only on 11 SCVs. He doesn't need the mule to mine, does he? Yeah, he doesn't need the mule to mine. What even would that be? You'll see this BC picking up another couple of drones. Queen and the Spore still trying to get a bit more damage done. He finally kills the mule of the Zerglings. Another Queen coming up. BC is going to go down because the Queens are chasing it, and as it dies, FanTaSy will GG. soO takes the series 2-1.